Enlightenment is the start of the journey. Now, let me just map this out for you so you have a bit of clarity. There is only enlightenment, there is only awakening. We are experiencing the absolute truth of reality at all given times. Not to say that there are given times, but you know what I'm trying to say. So, with that being said, what this means is that there's only a temporary moment of endarkenment or shade. So what this means is that we are essentially always experiencing the truth, but we don't have clarity on exactly what it is. We don't quite know the significance of it. Because ultimately the recognition, the true recognition, you might have glimpses, and you've probably had glimpses if you're watching this, of this kind of supreme realization of reality, and that's true, but the true integrated, grounded realization is not going to be as fantastic as you might expect. It's going to be very normal, because it is very normal. It's kind of like realizing you have a belly button. It's like it's always been there, you've seen it a million times, it's just someone's never really pointed it out before and made it obvious, it's kind of like that. Now, this doesn't mean to say that it isn't also at the same time somehow the most profound recognition that we can have in this lifetime. It just means that it's also really normal at the same time. We have to grasp that, because otherwise we'll put it on a pedestal and we'll think it's something fantastic, when really the true recognition is kind of realizing that we are not limited to the body and the mind. In essence, okay, there's a lot of follow up from that, which can spark a lot of questions. But ultimately, it's just not believing that you're a limited, finite entity. It's really just recognizing that what you essentially are is completely free from any experience that takes place in reality, and this doesn't include physical pain. That's not your body is not free from physical pain, okay? And you're not the body, so that's not quite relevant. However, you will become free from types of physical pains that are created by the trauma of separation, which are accumulations of stress, which are behaviors on behalf of a separate self that actually cause the physical pain. These will be relieved, you see? So true awakening is simply just to have a grounded recognition of the simplicity of what we are. And the simplicity of what we are is just being, pure being. Pure being is aware, it's conscious, it knows itself, it only knows itself, it's the only thing it knows. And there's this appearance that we are separate. There's an appearance that we are separate from something else. First of all, we have to qualify that we're even an individual. Then we qualify a load of different objects, and these objects we believe we're separate. Then it's quite literally like, imagine everything is made of clay. It's just seeing that everything is made of clay. Even you, you are the clay in which you experience your experience. You are the consciousness with which you experience, and in which all experience takes place. So awakening is kind of basically that. That removes existential fear. Now, it's quite typical that after we have this recognition, in fact, I would say 99.99% of the time, that's going to be the case, that you do not have, that's not enough to completely cleanse all the trauma of separation from the body-mind, you see. But the point is that you get to a place where you don't mind at that stage. You don't mind. You're an imperfect body-mind. Who cares? Who gives a shit? You see? You're not going to care at that point. You see? I've got so many imperfections. My teacher has imperfections. His teacher has imperfections. Everyone's going to have imperfections on the relative level. Now, our job at this stage is to simply be now that loving, governing presence that is experiencing our experience. It's not judging. It doesn't give a shit what happens, but it cares, you see? It does care. It looks like care on a relative level. We're not just going to avoid accountability for things because we're just this bypassing, pristine, witnessing awareness. This isn't Buddhism. We're not just this witness of experience. We are experience. You can't witness an experience unless you're separate from it. So your witnessing consciousness is not truly the witness. You are just experiencing the witness. The witnessed are one. You see? There is no witnessing. There is just pure experiencing. You see, is the best way of putting that. So enlightenment is the beginning of the journey in God, you see? Because how can you even claim that you've had another experience? How can you claim that there was ever a before that? You can't. You can't even trust your memory. For all you know, this is your birth. If you're understanding these words, for all you know, you literally were just born in this moment. You've just awakened, you see, awakened. So we can't claim, and I say that this is the start of the path. It's metaphorical, okay? Because obviously there's not really an end to the path. So an endless path isn't really a path, is it? You see, it's infinity. So... And so with that being said, at this point of the investigation, it is as though enlightenment, awakening, is the beginning of the path, because it's the only part of the path. It's the only part of the path where you've recognized your already enlightened nature. And from this point is about reconditioning the trauma of separation that still arises, because there's still going to be beliefs, there's still going to be doubts, there's still going to be fears that are based on having believed that you were a separate entity for so long. So for me, in my example, I had many glimpses, but still fear. But these true recognitions that I was absolutely infinite and there is zero separation, but I still had conditioning because I came back from that experience, and that experience was taken away purely because I was still operating again back into experience, believing I'm separate. So it's not enough to completely remove that belief. We must take a step then to really investigate our experience and see it in this moment that we're in right now. And this moment that we're in right now, there's just pure existence. There's nothing else. Nothing else to exist other than existence. Nothing else to be other than being. And they're the same thing. So this is what it means to be alive. When we mistake what it means to be alive, we believe that I'm a separate person who lives in a separate object. My heart beating, my lungs are breathing. This is what keeps me alive. That's not what keeps you alive. What keeps you alive is nothing. You are infinite aliveness. You see? So we can clearly see what's going on if we just say, well, what does it mean to be alive? Well, it means that I am pure infinite. It's the answer to that question eventually will become non-answered. There'll be no answer. It'll be self-evident. You'll just know it. And then eventually you live like that, you see? And then if you mistake what it means to be alive at any given moment, then you simply realize you've slipped out of that. You've mistook what it means to be alive accidentally. Oops. Then you realize again, you see, it's just an effortless recognition. It's like walking out the house and realizing you've forgotten your car keys. You don't have to do anything to realize that. It comes to you. So I hope this brings some clarity. This is the beginning of the path, because technically it's what you will be doing for the rest of your life, so to speak, on that level. And that would be all. I hope this brings some clarity. I have a community where I share all these types of things, free meditations every week, Q's and A's. I'd love to see you there. Links in the description. Take care. Have a beautiful day, guys. Bye.